We're joined now by somebody who worked closely with President Trump in his first administration. Kellyanne Shaw was a senior trade advisor and deputy assistant to Trump in his first term. She's now a partner at Hogan Lovells, the law firm. She joins us from New York. Kellyanne, thank you very much indeed for joining us.
Thank you so much for having me.
Now, we know the president's basic argument is that America has been unfairly treated on the trade front for decades, that countries have tariff and then non-tariff barriers. Is there anything you think, though, that investors and economists are missing in the current situation?
Yeah, and it's a great question. And what I would say is that there is more to the president's economic plans than just tariffs. And that's certainly getting all of the headlines. But unlike Trump 1.0, where they did tax reform, deregulation, created cheap energy before taking these more aggressive tariff actions, it's been reversed in Trump 2.0. And so all of the focus has been on the tariffs, as opposed to some of the production incentives that the administration is looking to implement over the coming months and years. So I would say to take the president's economic agenda as a whole and not just focus on one piece, even if it is at the moment a very, very big piece.
It is, though, attracting a lot of criticism. I mean, The Economist magazine says that there was a stable trading relation. America spent more than half a century building it, and it's now been replaced by whimsical and arbitrary policy making in which decisions are posted on social media. And even his own advisors don't know what's coming next. Is that fair at all, do you think?
No, I wouldn't say that that's particularly fair. Do you still have me?
Yes, yeah, we got you. Sorry, go on. Go ahead.
Do you still have me on?
We have you, Kellyanne. Go ahead,
okay,
please.
Great. Yeah, sorry, I think I froze there for a second. What I would say is I don't think that's a particularly fair characterization. Now, certainly, the Trump administration is taking a sledgehammer to the global trading system. So that is 100% accurate. But the president is in this broad negotiation with effectively every country on earth simultaneously. And his negotiation tactics are very out of the box and unorthodox. But I don't think it's fair to say that this is just simply on a whim. The president has been remarkably consistent over 40 years about his views on global trade and the fact that the global trading system, which was built throughout the last century, while was effective throughout the last century, is no longer meeting the needs of the American public, which is why a majority of Americans believe today that trade has been better for other countries than it has been for the United States. So this is just as much about democratic legitimacy in the U.S. as it is about some of these fundamentals. But I do think the president is interested in a global trading system. It's just one that looks a bit different than the one we have in place today.
You said a sledgehammer. Is that really the way to go when we're talking about a complex international trading network that affects billions of people? Is a sledgehammer approach right?
So I think it's fair to have a difference of views in terms of the tactics that the president is using. But what I would say is that the old ways didn't work. We, for decades, had tried to negotiate reductions in both tariff and non-tariff barriers through the World Trade Organization. We brought WTO challenges to China's unfair trade practices, but these talks are very slow. They're not even incremental. They just weren't moving. And so the president is taking a totally different approach that hasn't been tried to date, and we will evaluate whether or not this has been successful in a year, in 5 years, in 10 years. But it is a different approach, certainly, but nothing else we've tried so far has worked.
We've only about a minute left. Just on Canada, the president in his first term renegotiated the trade deal with Canada. He said, we've done a great job. But now he says, no, it's not. And he's put tariffs on America's closest trading partner. So it seems inconsistent. I'm sorry, we've got less than a minute.
No problem at all. What I would say is the USMCA agreement that Trump negotiated in Trump 1.0 is a living agreement. It was designed to be renegotiated every 6 years. There's actually a provision in the agreement that states this. And so the president has accelerated that by about a year and a half in terms of addressing some of the things that should be changed. But it's not unfair for the president to talk about it being a great agreement on the one hand, but also wanting amendments to it on the other.
we'll have to leave it there. Kellyanne, thank you very much indeed for joining us. Really appreciate it.
Thanks for having me.
Kellyanne Shaw, former senior